Hello everyone and welcome back to my reading videos. Sorry I've been away for a while, but I had a cold that I had to deal with, so I am back and ready to start more stories for you. Today's is going to be Walt Disney from the Fun to Read Library, Volume 11, Welcome Back Snow White. It's a Walt Disney beginning reader book, and these are really beautiful books. I found this one at a thrift store recently with a whole bunch of them, so I'll be doing a whole bunch of these. But these are the books that I grew up on from the 80s, and it was made in '86. So let's start the story. One day, a man on a horse rode up to the house where the 7 dwarves lived. "A letter from the castle for the 7 dwarves," he said. "I wonder if this is from Snow White," said Doc. "Why, it is, and she is coming to see us." Doc went inside to tell the rest of the dwarves the news. "Hooray!" shouted the dwarves. They jumped for joy. "How wonderful!" cried Happy. "I have missed Snow White very much," said Bashful. "Yes," said Grumpy, "it is wonderful news, but what will Snow White think when she sees our house?" The sink was full of dirty dishes, the chairs were broken, there was dust everywhere. Dirty clothes lay on the floor, old shoes lay all about, the curtains had holes in them, and they were gray with dust. "Achoo!" sneezed Sneezy. "There's a lot of dust in here." "Well, we will just have to clean it up," said Doc. "Come on." Doc marched to the sink. He washed all the dirty dishes. "There," he said happily. All the dishes were clean. He left them next to the sink to dry, and off he went to find something else to clean. Sleepy looked around for something to do. He saw the dishes beside the sink. Carefully, he put them back into the sink. "There," he yawned. "Now they can soak for a while. I'll just go take a nap until they are clean." Dopey swept all the dust into one big pile, but he did not know what to do with it. He went off to find Doc. Doc would know what Dopey should do next. Sneezy walked by. The great pile of dust tickled his nose. "Achoo!" he sneezed. It was a very big sneeze. Dust blew all over the cottage. It blew all over Sneezy too. Next came Grumpy. The dust blew in his eyes. His pail of soap and water spilled all over the floor. Just then, Happy walked across the wet floor. With a whoosh, Happy fell down. He tried to stand, but he could not. Instead, he slid across the floor. Sleepy woke up from his nap. He had forgotten all about the dishes. He blinked his eyes, he yawned and stretched. He started to make up the beds, but he didn't even finish one bed. He said, "Ho-hum, I think I'll take another nap." And quick as a wink, Sleepy fell fast asleep. "A fine job of cleaning up we've done," said Grumpy. "This place does look worse than when we started," Doc agreed sadly. "The trouble is, we're not working together," said Doc. "Let's decide who is going to do what. Then we can all help each other," said Happy. Doc gave each of the dwarves a job to do. Sneezy washed the clothes. Dopey put the wet clothes on the line to dry. "It's easier to clean when someone helps you," said Sneezy. Doc took out a pail of glue. He glued new bottoms to the dwarf's old shoes. Bashful sat in a corner nearby. He brushed the shoes that Doc had mended. He brushed and brushed. At last they were shiny and clean. Then he lined them up neatly, all in a row. Grumpy began to mend the broken chairs. He hammered so loud that he woke up Sleepy. "Well, it's about time you come down to help," grumbled Grumpy. "Sleepy, you clean the table while I mend the chairs," said Grumpy. With a big clean cloth, Sleepy washed the table. Said Grumpy. "This table looks pretty good." Happy was busy making a cake. Dopey liked watching Happy bake. When Happy was through, Dopey licked the spoon clean. After the cake was done, all the dwarves gathered around. "Great job," said Doc. "It smells so good," said Sleepy. "I guess my next nap can wait." "All right, everyone. Snow White will be here soon. We must get to work. To the table, quick!" Dopey looked out the door. Sleepy looked out the window. They were waiting to greet Snow White. "Hurry, everyone," said Doc. "We must all wash up." "Wash up," grumbled Grumpy. "Yes," said Doc. Quickly, everyone lined up to wash. Finally, they all looked neat and clean, except for Bashful. He was nowhere to be found. "Well, look who's here," said Happy. There stood Bashful. He was holding a big bunch of flowers. "I picked these for Snow White," he said. Just then the dwarves heard the sound of a carriage. "She is here! She is here!" they shouted. All the dwarves ran outside. Even Bashful came and stood shyly behind Doc. Everyone waited for the carriage to stop. Out of the carriage stepped the beautiful Snow White. "Welcome back, Snow White," sang the 7 dwarves. Snow White looked just like a princess. Her sweet smile, her gentle hands, and the love in her eyes were the same as ever. "Oh, I am so happy to see you all," said Snow White. "It is good to be back." She kissed Dopey. His eyes lit up. She kissed Grumpy. His face got all red. And she gave Bashful a special hug. Then Snow White went inside the cottage. "Oh my goodness," she said. "Everything is so neat and sparkling clean." We wanted it to be just right for you," said Grumpy. "And Doc showed us how to work together," said Happy. "Well, you should all be very proud of yourselves," she said. "I am glad you have learned to work together so very well." The dwarves poked each other. They blushed with pride. "Working together makes the work easier," they all agreed. Then they laughed and told stories for the rest of the day. And that's the end. That's Welcome Back, Snow White. It's Walt Disney beginning reader book from their Fun to Read library. It's volume 11. That was a great story. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video. And remember to keep reading. Reading is very important. Thank you, and goodbye.